You're listening to the John and Heidi Show, now featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Ferris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris. Good Tuesday to you, good sir. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking.
I'm glad you're doing all right.
Okay.
Heidi, how are you doing over there?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you.
I'm good as well. Not that anybody asked.
John, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm thankful that, yes, I'm really good, yeah.
So you guys ever pay homage to ants on a log day?
Never.
No.
No, seriously?
It's where you do the celery with peanut butter and some raisins.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
I didn't even
saw
know
it.
what we were talking about.
It is always celebrated the second Tuesday in September, which this happens to be. That's great
All
brain
right.
food, by the way. And kids love it.
Do
Do
they?
they? Do they really?
No, I never made that for my kids. It seemed like way too
They
much
would.
effort.
They probably would.
Okay.
It's silly. It's different.
Ants on a log day.
Okay.
And that particular snack, rumor has it that some writer from the Minneapolis Star and Tribune actually coined that little phrase years ago.
Oh.
That's who's taking credit for it.
That's
anyway.
adorbs.
Okay, ants on a log day. What else is going on here? Tyler Perry, actor,
Yes.
producer, all around good
Medea.
guy. Yeah, you know, he's actually been in and been involved in over 40 films, but pretty much all of them are that Medea.
No, he's been in several things where I'm like, oh, hey, there he is. He's not Medea in this. That's cool.
Yeah, I was kidding about all of them are Medea.
He's in a lot of stuff.
Wow, he's 53 today.
Nice.
Did you know his real first name is Emmett?
Oh, I like that.
I didn't know
Because
that.
it is
Emmett Tyler Perry.
Ah,
Emmett. All right.
That's a nice name.
Frontman for Megadeth, Dave Mustaine.
Oh, yeah.
Still getting it done, still touring. He's the last original member. They keep switching stuff out, but Dave is still just cranking.
All righty.
He's 61 today.
Nice. One of the former members of Megadeth is going to be at Grand Falls with Generation Radio. One of the guys in the Generation Radio band used to play with Megadeth.
Get out of here.
Seriously. It's an amazing combination.
I am
This
actually very excited.
Band is
for this
pretty
one.
eclectic.
I know.
Yeah.
You've got remember
Journey.
from
Country.
Chicago,
You got a little bit of everything.
Rascal Flats,
yeah, Rascal
Megadeth,
Flats and
Yeah.
Megadeth. Let's put
Yeah.
them together
Kenny
and see what
Loggins
happens.
Exactly.
Band. I mean, seriously, it's going to be, if you haven't signed up to win yet, do it now.
It's gonna be a great show.
sunnyradio.com.
Or don't take the chance of hoping you
Yeah,
win.
just
Buy
buy the
some
tickets.
tickets because you're not going to want to miss it.
See, if for an extra $2, you can sit on Heidi's lap. I mean, it's worth it. Go online and do it.
It's coming up September 24th, which is a Saturday.
It is, before you know it, it'll be here.
And this was one of my all-time favorite TV hosts of all time. I never missed an episode because it was just so dang disturbingly hilarious. Chris Hansen.
Oh, yeah.
To Catch a Predator.
To Catch a Predator.
63. Just take a seat right over there. Have a seat. All this camera equipment in this kitchen. So did you know that the young lady is going to be 13? Oh, you didn't. You didn't, but I see you've got some Starburst chew candies and a 6-pack of Zima in your bag. So, what exactly? My favorite was when one of these idiots would run.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
where do
they
you think
then they
you're
cut
going,
to the
man?
outside and law enforcement
Yeah.
just laying a beating on
Yeah,
him.
and they're standing out there waiting for
His
that.
face down on the sidewalk. And wham, wham. Fantastic. Take a seat right over there.
Gosh.
Thanks for everything you did, Chris. That was amazing. He's
Sure was.
63 today.
Nice.
Historically speaking, John, this one's for you out of the world of sports.
Okay.
It's 1934. This was considered kind of a mega deal back in 1934. Then Major League Baseball Commissioner Judge Landis sells the sponsorship rights to the World Series that year to the Ford Motor Company for a whopping $100,000.
Oh, boy.
Who was it that did it?
Would have been the Commissioner of Baseball. Judge Landis was his name.
Yikes.
Ford Motor Company.
Oh, Ford Motor
John, am I moving too fast for you?
I missed that part.
Okay, because I can put up cue cards.
I lost the... Must have been somewhere lost in
I
translation.
bet he's kicking himself.
So think of this: World Series these days, 30-second ad, somewhere in the neighborhood of
Exactly.
$300,000,
That's
$400,000.
insane.
But see, there's 7 games, or can be up to 7 games.
Yeah.
Like World Series
man.
2 years ago, game number 7. I think a 30-second ad was going for $500,000. So interesting
Yeah.
stuff. Like in 1922, this was, you can't make this stuff up. 1922, this day, the Straw Hat Riots broke out in New York City. Citizens took to the streets to protest the right to wear straw hats beyond the accepted date of September 15th.
So
I'm serious.
they weren't supposed to wear
That
them
is
after.
hilarious.
No, September 15th was it.
It's a
By the
cutoff date.
16th, man, you
Wow.
closeted that straw hat.
Okay.
And some people
It's like not
just
wearing white after Labor Day.
Yeah, and they grew aggravated with it, and they took to the streets, and there were rumbles, and it was crazy. It was the
A lot of
Jets and the
straw
Sharks.
hats.
There were rumbles.
Yeah, and they were successful, by the way. So
Good. So now you can wear a straw hat.
You can wear a
whenever you
straw
want.
hat.
Good for them.
You know what was kind of crazy? I bet
anytime.
when they got done with that, they went home and they're like, you know what? I don't even want to wear it anymore.
Now that we
After all of
can.
that.
I'm done with this whole
After all
thing.
of that, I don't even want a straw hat now.
Really, these hats are kind of ugly when you think about it.
Finally, back in 1789, and you think federal overspending is kind of a new thing? Oh, heck no.
No.
It was 1789. Our government, the U.S. government, asked for a handout, borrows money from several New York City banks.
Oh, wow.
The first time the U.S. government says, can you do us a solid here?
I'll write you an IOU.
Yeah, to this day, man, they're just paying off the interest, haven't touched the principal. It's weird that that loan, by the way, was to forgive blacksmith apprentice student debt. I know. You know. We all know. We just forge ahead.
Gonna do that. It is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris.
Join us in October for The Sands, a week of music and fun that's been described as the best week ever by many of our guests. This year, we have more icons and more fun. Culture Club, The Cult, Loverboy, Belinda Carlisle, Lou Gramm, Vanilla Ice, Samantha Fox, Firehouse, and many more. Plan to join us October 25th through the 30th at Planet Hollywood Beach Resort in Cancun, Mexico. This all-inclusive event will be the time of your life. Learn more now at radiotravelgroup.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit right now with Theresa Caputo. She is the Long Island medium. You might know her from TLC, and coming soon to the Washington Pavilion in Sioux Falls. Theresa, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, John. How are you?
I'm great. We're excited to have you in Sioux Falls. And for people who are maybe unfamiliar with the live show and what you do at an event like the Pavilion in Sioux Falls, what do you do at an event like that?
Sure. So what I do is I come out on the stage, I give a little quick speech on what people can expect over the 2 hours. And once I start sensing and feeling the souls of the departed, Spirit will actually guide me off of the stage and guide me around the theater. I will literally stop in front of someone and start channeling their departed loved ones. I have cameras that follow me around. We have a big screen set up. So no matter where you're seated throughout the theater, you can feel and be a part of this amazing experience up close and personal.
And if people would like to get tickets, there are still tickets available. I've got a link to those on our Facebook page and a chance to win some tickets. But you're not going to want to just, click on to win. You're going to want to click on and buy some tickets because there's not a ton of tickets left. So, Theresa, how many shows do you do like this per year? You do quite a few of these, don't you?
I do quite a few. I travel all over the country doing live shows. We can do anywhere, maybe 75 live shows a year.
And this is something that when people come to this show, it's quite an experience. It's a lot different than going to see a band play music, a lot different than going to see a comedian do stand-up comedy. This is a really unique setting and a really unique show. And people, I've watched some of the videos online of what people experience at this, and it's quite amazing.
It's still, after all these years of doing what I do, John, Spirit never ceases to amaze me. I still, every time I get off that stage, I sit back and I say, they did it again. That was crazy. That was insane. Because the thing that I understand, first of all, I make what I do look very easy. It is the hardest thing that I have to do is to stand in front of someone and feel all of their pain, their sorrow, their loss, and their grief. And then in the next moment, have Spirit have me say or do something that brings a smile to their face and laughter throughout the theater. And to me, that's the greatest gift that they can give us. And I also understand that it is impossible for me to give a personal reading to everyone in that space.
Yeah.
But this is why the experience is so incredible and why I call it the experience. Is because the souls that speak are the souls that can deliver as many messages at one time. I could be channeling, say, someone's dad, and there might be 400 other people in the audience going, oh, my God, that's what happened to my cousin. That I feel like that's my mom speaking to me. That's the incredible thing. So anything that Spirit has me say during the experience that you can connect with and place in your life, know that that's a direct message from them. And people say it all the time after attending one of my live shows. They'll say, look, I had no idea what to expect when I walked into that theater. I personally did not get read, but what I witnessed was absolutely life-changing. And then some people even go on to say, and then I realized that there were other people in that theater that got read. They needed to hear from their loved ones more than I did.
Yeah.
It just goes to show on how powerful and special the experience is.
The event in Sioux Falls is coming up on Friday, September 23rd at the Washington Pavilion. Tickets are available now. I'll throw a link to get those, and I'll also have a link on how you can register to win a pair of tickets. Our guest, Theresa Caputo, she is the Long Island medium from TLC. And way before the show, you've been doing this. How did you first discover you had this gift, and how did you decide to follow the fact that you have this gift? Because there are probably people who have this gift, but they work at a coffee shop because they decided, I'm not going to do anything with this.
Sure. Yeah, listen, I also want people to know that everyone has the ability to connect with their own loved one. That is a bond that can never and will never be broken. The difference with me is that I can connect with everyone's loved one. And just because we have a special gift doesn't mean that that's what we're supposed to do. I struggled with it because I couldn't understand. I was like, why was I chosen to do this? And secondly, who's going to want to come and see a medium? Who's going to want to connect with their loved ones that have died? I could not understand that. But what I learned over the years was that we're left with these burdens and guilt. So I kind of put my gifts in God's hands, and I said, look, if this is the way you made me, then, and I'm supposed to do this, then you open the door and I will walk through them. And here I am over 20 years later. I mean, it took me a long time to get where I am. You know, I went to a spiritual awareness class because I couldn't understand why I was sensing and feeling these things. And then once I learned how to understand that, is then, you know, I started doing readings, and then my manager, she unfortunately lost her dad and had the experience, and it changed her life. And she said, everyone that loses a loved one that is having trouble moving on, they should have this opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up, you know, with Long Island Medium. Look, I couldn't even leave my house. Here I am on a tour bus, traveling all over the country doing live shows and standing on a stage in front of thousands of people. I'm shy.
Yeah.
Like, believe it or not, like, I mean, it's a lot. But I don't, because I was born this way, it's natural for me. It is, I could not imagine, I mean, what I do is the craziest thing. I couldn't imagine myself doing anything different. So it's such an honor for me to be able to come to Sioux Falls and be able to share my gift.
We're excited to have you here. Theresa, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you. You too. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Again, Theresa Caputo, Long Island medium from TLC in Sioux Falls at the Washington Pavilion Friday, September 23rd. We've got a link right now to find tickets and a link to register to win tickets at facebook.com/sunnyradio and facebook.com/Sioux Falls News.
If you watch the news, you've probably heard about interest rate hikes and other financial factors that could make you a bit nervous. At BetterCreditCards.com, we continue our commitment to help you get a better credit card. On the website, BetterCreditCards.com, we have different kinds of credit cards, some with better points and perks, some designed to help you build your credit. Whatever stage of life you happen to be in, we want to help. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
And now stuff Dan finds interesting.
It is time for Stuff Dan Finds Interesting. Dan, what do you find interesting on this Tuesday?
You know, just by nature of the business we're in, we tend to consume a lot of news, probably way too much.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, and I always tell myself, I'm not watching it, I'm not tuning into it, and then there I am doing it again.
Well, and that's the thing. I get suckered in all the time.
You do. But we also have a propensity to think that youngsters ain't really into news, man. They don't know much, right? You run around going, you don't know what's going on, whatever.
I know some very informed youngsters, too, though.
You know, a survey that came out, released just a week ago, Associated Press, well, of course, the NORC, Center for Public Affairs Research, and also the American Press Institute, did a nationwide survey on youngsters age 16 to 40, are what we deem those generations, millennials and also Generation Z.
Yeah, Gen Z, yeah.
Are you with me so far?
So far.
Yeah.
The survey reports that 79% of those folks say they get news daily. They consume it and actually look for it.
Okay.
It's not just flashing
from TikTok.
That's part of it.
Is it
we'll
where
get
they
into
get
that
it?
in just a minute. Now, this report supposedly pokes holes in the idea that young folks just aren't interested in the news, daily affairs, what's going on in the country, globally, locally, whatever. According to a CEO executive director for the American Press Institute, quote, they are more engaged in more ways than people give them credit for. Estimated 71% of this age group gets news daily from social media.
Yeah, that's just it.
Social media diet becoming more vast and varied, of course. A lot of respondents going, yeah, you know what? I check out YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter. Almost 40% say they get news from Facebook daily, compared with 57% of millennials who said that they tend to even tune into the nightly news.
Nice.
Whoa.
On the channels. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Poll found that quarter of the young people who say they actually pay for online news products. I don't buy that.
I don't either. I don't either.
Print or digital magazines or newspapers. And a similar percentage have donated to at least one nonprofit news organization. So, just kind of thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I find that interesting.
I also found that interesting.
So, you ask what's going on. It's like my daughter, say at age 34, college degree, whatever. She literally stays away from the news because of the negativity.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting.
I can see that.
She flat out will say, because I'll bring up something, say it has to do with current events, whatever, and she'll just go, nope, I got nothing. I'll say, do you watch the news? Well, no. In fact, she has told me to stop watching. So it's
I told my mother to stop watching the news because she was getting all worked up about some stuff, and I was like, Mom, hey, quit watching the news.
Off.
If you walk away, not just angry, but where you're trying
You
to
still
say,
need
what
to
can
be
I...
informed. We all should be angry.
I
In
understand
fact, the
that,
whole
but-
country should be angry.
But it's like, hey, you can't change any of this, so just calm down. Maybe you should
That's
quit
not
watching
true.
the news.
And that's
Way
why.
to go, Dan. Thanks for getting this started.
Well, what if 1922, if the straw hat people felt they couldn't do anything about it,
we would
John?
still have to
Exactly.
be putting away our straw hats.
Well, I'm okay with that.
Take to the streets.
I, for one, think the straw hats needed to go.
I go out and protest. I don't know how to make a sign. So I just kind of hang around at home. Hope for the best.
Oh, yeah. Well, Dan, thank you for the update, sir.
Yeah, I found that interesting.
I also found that
I
interesting.
also found it quite interesting.
Thanks, guys.
Very nice. It is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris.
While other wireless companies raise their prices, Mint Mobile has taken a different approach. You can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Let's say that again so you hear it right. $15 a month for unlimited premium wireless. Why would we do that? Because we can. If you're paying too much for your wireless phone, it's time for a Mintervention from Mint Mobile. You can sign up today at Mintervention.com. Premium wireless for just $15 a month at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, September 13th, 2022. Equities extended their rebound Monday, taking the S&P 500 up a full % at the height of the day. The rally, a relief rally, is driven by expectation for economic improvement that is likely misplaced, given the consensus figure for the CPI data. The analysts are expecting CPI to hold flat versus last month, but the core and year-over-year figures will be hot. Core inflation is expected to rise by 0.3%, which is the same as the prior month, and it will drive an acceleration in the year-over-year figures as well. Core consumer inflation is expected to accelerate to 6% from last month's high of 5.9% and push the Fed to act aggressively at next week's FOMC meeting. It is near given the FOMC will raise rates by another 75 basis points next week, so the most important news will be the tone of the statement and the outlook for future hikes. The FOMC is already in uncharted territory, so it's possible, however unlikely, that a fourth 75 basis point hike could be on the table. You can get the inside track at marketbeatminute.com.